Hey friends, it's me Micah. This is the Homestead Bandwagon. Today I'm comparing two lawn dethatchers. Something you don't use very often, but it is really important to use if you want to have a nice healthy lawn without a lot of dead spots in it. These are tools that pull all the old cut dead grass out of your lawn so that you stop smothering your lawn and causing brown dead spots. Now, just for the uninitiated, how these dethatchers work is these tines will be spinning around and basically just raking all the dead grass out of the understory of the lawn, bringing it up to the top, so you can either bag it or just discharge it and then rake it up and throw it in the garbage can, or bag it, or I don't know what you do with it after you get the grass out, but that's what it does. It pulls the thatch out of the lawn with these little wire guys when they spin around. There's a twist to this video. This is a sponsored video. I received both of these products for free, but not in the normal fashion. So what happened is one of these companies offered to send me their dethatcher for free to test, which I wasn't super interested in, but then they also offered to send me their competitor machine for free to test against theirs. To me, that took some cojones. But the real twist here is I forgot which company is which. I don't remember who sent me which product, and I'm not going to bother looking it up. I'm just going to go out and test both these things on the lawn, see which one I like the most or dislike the least, and go from there. So let's get these things out on the grass and try them out. Okay, we're about ready to go here. This is a pretty large area to be using a smaller machine like this on, but should be a good little test. The lawn looks fine. You know, this is not a perfect lawn. There is a lot of dead grass sitting in here, so I think these things will have their work cut out for them. Let's start with the WEN, and then we'll do the Tytown and just see how it does. Just running a strip down the lawn here. All right, so what do we know about this WEN Dethatcher? 15 amp motor, 16-inch working width, 2-in-1 system with dethatching or scarifying. 4 working height mode plus transport mode. Easy change handle with 3 working heights. Can be used for dethatching with or without the 14.5 gallon bag. Folding mid handle for storage. Approximate 30-pound working weight. This thing sounds a lot like a vacuum cleaner, which I guess is kind of what it is, a vacuum cleaner for grass. Now I've got this on its highest setting right now. You can kind of see in the bag how much grass you have in there. Now hauling around a cord isn't my favorite thing. And these are both pretty high-powered machines, so I would really recommend a bigger extension cord. You don't want to be using the extension cord that you'd be using for something like Christmas lights. Okay, we have been missing some grass here. I don't know why. All right, the first pass wasn't bad. The second pass, it kind of left some grass behind. Let me show you. You can see it's pulling up a lot of stuff here. Look at all this. And it's supposed to bag it all. I don't know if it got clogged or what. The grass bag isn't all that full, but it kind of left some grass behind out here. Maybe it's just too much grass in the lawn, I don't know. But that grass bag, I guess, is pretty full. So now we know I get about 25-30 feet of run before it runs out of gas. I've got it on its highest setting right now, because there's a lot to deal with in this lawn and the grass is kind of long already. Let's try the other one. All right, let's talk real quick about the features on this Tytown 15.5 amp electric motor, 16-inch working width, 4 working heights plus transport mode, toolless easy change from scarifiers to dethatching, 14.5 gallon bag, or no bag dethatching mode. Easy change 2-height operator handle. 27-pound working weight. Easy breakdown handles for storage. This one I can already see is pulling up way more grass. It sounds a bit burlier too. It's a little noisier, but holy smokes. Starting to bog down a tiny bit. Whoops. Doesn't help that I popped out the extension cord. Okay, that one was pulling a lot of grass up too. Let's take a look here. So the first run, it filled up the bag pretty fast. There's still some grass left behind. And I just think that there's so much thatch in these lawns, in this lawn, that it's going to take a long time to get it all out. The Tytown has a little more power. It says 15.5 amps. That one says 15. This one really felt like it had some more grunt going on. Taking the bag out isn't as easy on this Tytown. How much grass do they have in each one? Which one gets a bigger pile? Okay, more grass in the WEN than in the Tytown for sure. And it's probably because the grass bag on the WEN is bigger than the Tytown, right? Both of them claim to be 14.5 gallons, but that one is way smaller than that one. And the WEN has a bigger pile of grass than the Tytown. I mean, look at all this material it pulled off. Up just in one little pass out here. This lawn has never been dethatched. So imagine how this is just choking out the grass here. It would take a lot of work to do this, but maybe it's worth it. Get the hard work done once in one season and be done. This leads me to think maybe it'd be good to run them without the bag on them and just pull all the grass out of the understory. So at least you could deal with it, maybe rake it out or bag it after you pull it up. And that's working pretty good. It is just peeling the grass out of the understory here. Yeah, that works pretty good. Wonder if the WEN can kind of do a similar job. Yeah, so these both do a pretty good job of picking up grass out of the understory without the bagger on them, and that's probably the way to go in a situation like this where bagging it's just not going to work, at least initially. At least then you can get up, kind of rake it up, throw it in your yard cart, dump it, and then going forward we can get out and dethatch a little more often, because this area has never been dethatched. In fact, it's been bagged only twice. All we do is cut and throw. So this is a real test for either machine. Power-wise, I felt like the Tytown, for whatever reason, felt like it had a little bit more power. And that might just be because I know this is 15.5 amps versus 15, but it did sound a little burlier, which is funny because it's a smaller unit than the WEN. As far as navigating the lawn goes, moving the WEN felt a little clunkier a little harder to move around. Now these are both inexpensive machines you buy on Amazon. Plastic wheels, nothing special about them. You know, you push them with your own power of your body. There's nothing fancy going on, but the Tytown, for whatever reason, maybe because it's a little lighter, just felt like it did move through the grass a little easier. Comfort-wise, they're both fine. The Tytown sticks or control area is a little smaller than the WEN. The WEN's a little wider, a little more substantial feeling. This does have 3 heights you can set it at. This is its highest. The Tytown has 2. This is its highest. So this is the tallest you can get your sticks. But they're tall enough for me. I'm about 6'1". This guy, a little tall actually. I could probably lower it 1 click. So if you're a shorter person, how low can we get the handles on the WEN? Let's see. So the shortest you can go is the highest that the Tytown can go. The Tytown can go down 1 click lower. Not much lower really. But yeah, if you're vertically challenged, the Tytown's definitely the choice for you. It's lighter, it's more nimble, easy to operate. You don't have to fight it as much to turn and maneuver, and the sticks will go down a little lower. Okay, so after trying both products out, which one won my heart? Let's talk about the WEN here. So the WEN, a little thicker, a little chunkier, a little bigger, a little heavier, a little more hard to navigate the lawn. Bigger bagger for sure, no matter what they advertise. This bag's bigger than that bag, but it only filled up about half full before it started spitting grass out, so I guess it really didn't matter. It does have a taller handle if you're a taller person. If you're a smaller person, the Tytown's the way to go, but this one has a taller, wider, just chunkier frame overall. The Tytown is way more compact than this WEN machine. What really stuck in my craw about this thing though is swapping out the scarifiers for the dethatchers. This thing you've got to use like an Allen key to get in here to swap it out. It was just a really big pain in the neck to swap that stuff out. And because this front end kind of sticks down a bit, it was getting stuck a lot more in the ground, harder to navigate the yard with the WEN. Whereas the Tytown, this front end you can kind of see, kind of sticks up. It wasn't sticking into the ground as much. So it was leaving the dethatchers down here to do the dethatching, but it wasn't getting the front end stuck in the ground because it wasn't pointed down. And you can also flip this thing around for storage, because these machines get stored a lot. You're not using them every weekend. Now I did find, beyond being able to store it like this, where it's kind of flat up and down, you can also separate the handle at this middle spot and flop it down again. And now look at how small of a package this thing is. So now it's super easy to like put it in the trunk of a car. Why you'd store it in the trunk of a car, I don't know. Or store it in your garage or barn or whatever without taking up a lot of room. So I really like this feature. And you're going to be storing this thing a lot. It's going to be sitting in the garage all the time. Lighter, like I said, and then installing the Dethatcher, switching over from the scarifier, which I threw in here for storage, is toolless. You just unscrew this thing. I can probably just do it right now. Pull this little flipper down, pull this whole doohickey out. I'm doing this one-handed right now. Put this little doohickey in, flip this little flapper up, screw the screw in, and we are now ready to aerate. I will say that these scarifiers are a little bit lighter duty than what the WEN has. The WEN has a little thicker, heavier duty scarifiers, but boy, it is really easy to switch from one task to the other without needing to mess with an Allen wrench. That's a really cool setup. So overall, I would say that this one right here wins my heart and my seal of approval. If the wife ever wanted to use it, easier to use for short people. That one's a pretty tall handle. Just overall, this Tytown is just a good setup for people with a smaller lawn. Just want something that doesn't use gas, because gas goes bad as it sits in the garage for a year without being used, and you don't want to invest in a new battery system. This thing will work just fine. So yep, the Tytown wins in my mind. But which company was the one that sent me both products to test? That is what I don't remember. Let's see if we can find the original email where they asked me to test their stuff. Bear with me here. Almost there. Okay, it actually was Tytown who sent me their product to test, and they paid. They bought this WEN and had it shipped to me so I could compare it. That's kind of interesting, just not remembering who sent me what. The Tytown did kind of get the edge in my mind. A lot of good things about this WEN, though. I mean, either way, I don't think you'd go wrong. Just make sure you get a good, high-quality extension cord to run one of these. Link to all descriptions, or all products in the description, and a link to a good extension cord in the description as well. We'll see ya.